Hey, welcome to NewSongChurch.com. I know God has something in store for you as you watch this message today. He's been working in your heart in the past week, bringing you closer to Him, and this message is a part of that. If God has used this ministry to inspire you or change your life in some way, we'd love to hear about it. So I hope you'll take a moment and send us an email at mystory@newsongchurch.com. Or if you'd like to give a financial gift of $5 or $50 or $500, however God is leading you to participate in the ministry that He's doing through New Song to change the lives of those He loves. I hope you'll open up your heart and prepare to hear a word from God today.
Is there a sadness about these past 2 years then?
Yeah, there's a sadness, and then you have to go. Then there's also hope. I mean, a sadness. It's always like, yeah, you wish they hadn't happened, but they did, and the purpose is to make you different. It's what they call a Buddhist gift. I would call it the ultimate Christian gift. It's that idea of you're back, and you realize the thing that matters are others, way beyond yourself. Self goes away. Ego, bye-bye. Realize there are a lot of amazing people out there to be grateful for, and a loving God. And that, other than that, good luck. That's what life is about.
Good morning, everybody. Probably wasn't what you were expecting this morning. We're supposed to be finishing the fourth week in our series on Open Book, and I got to tell you, I have a great message from the book of Isaiah for you, just not this morning. In fact, we did a video on Isaiah 40 while I was in Israel, and that'll come too. But as you know, 13 days ago, Robin Williams took his life, and that kind of created a firestorm on Facebook of people saying how badly we feel for Robin, but how badly we feel. And as I was praying this week with our board about the upcoming season, we thought we ought to spend this weekend talking about how to deal with depression, because it's on most of our minds. If a guy like Robin Williams deals with depression, probably we do too. I mean, Robin had everything going for him, didn't he? Fame and wealth, kids who loved him, a new wife, millions of fans like all of us, and yet your kids are now writing Mrs. Doubtfire died, and those of us who are older write Mork died, right? And what I've learned in the last three services is just about every single one of us deals with depression, if not all the time, then a lot of the time. So I think this morning is going to be about as practical a morning as we've had in a long time, maybe ever here at the church. I'm going to start my part by interviewing Terry Myers, who's our counselor on our staff. She's actually been on our staff longer than anyone except my wife. More than 15 years she's been our wonderful counselor, faithfully anchoring all of our caring ministries here at the church. And then after about 10 minutes of her helping us more from a therapeutic angle about dealing with depression, I'm going to get up and preach to you. And I think you're going to enjoy it as well. So let's start by asking Terry a couple questions. Would you welcome Terry to our stage? Terry holds a master's degree in marriage and family counseling, which is somewhat germane to most of us here, from the University of, from Southern California Christian College, and She's been doing counseling for us and for others for about 20 years now, so you know a bit about depression, do you?
A little bit. People who are depressed usually will find themselves kind of drifting away from the life around them. They become absorbed in their thoughts, their feelings. They are tired, they feel overwhelmed. Often feelings they have are repetitive and they can't stop the repeating, or they obsess and get stuck on one thing and they feel paralyzed by it. They're moody, they are exhausted, and they struggle to focus. Sometimes they can be irritable and angry, and especially men. That's characteristic, especially of men.
We feel better when we're angry than when we're sad, because it's a more powerful feeling, a feeling of being in control.
Right. And so the longer it goes on, the more exhausted, the more beaten down they are, and they feel hopeless. They feel worthless. They feel like they're a failure, and they feel very alone.
So how do you help a friend who is depressed, or how do you help yourself when you're depressed?
Well, first of all, as we are believers, and even for those who aren't believers, we can always take them to God. God is our comforter. He is our anchor. And so going to God, we can say, God, I pour this out to you. I no longer want to carry this. Help me break the cycle. And many scripture, you can speak to people who are dealing with depression. And I like to start very simply. I take people to the 23rd Psalm, which most of us know by heart or know where to get it very easily. And to pray the words individually. The Lord is my shepherd. What is a shepherd? How does he feel about his sheep? And who am I? Am I really able to surrender myself to God? And he says, he leads us beside the still waters, he restores my soul. And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that peace, that stillness again, because their brain, their mind is never still. Their anxiety, their stress is always going on, and they need restoration. And so the other thing is that we want to encourage people to connect with someone, to tell someone that they're depressed, be it family, a friend. You can, if there's no one to tell, there's always a church door open, and there's always somebody in a church that will speak to you, or a social organization, you know, AA or Bread of Life or one of those places. It may not have the need that you are particularly looking for, but they have resources. Any of those places do. I had a situation where K-Love called me here and said, we have a man that is suicidal. I called him, he was at the beach, he came in, we talked, I was able to get him in a program. So you've got all kinds of resources, even if you have to call a radio station. We also want to encourage people to start stepping out and reconnecting. Reconnecting with groups that they've been involved in, friends, family, and then volunteer. You know, there are many places to volunteer in the church and outside the church, and to start looking outward to pull out of that inward spiral that's going on. And we want to be friendly. We want to not overwhelm them, but we want to continue to make contact with them. A phone call, a visit, try to get them to go out for a walk with you, meet up for coffee or something like that, where they're reconnecting and they're feeling like a human being again, because they feel like they have nothing to give, and who would want to be with them? So they really can't reach out to us. We can reach out to them, and we need to listen. We need to be able to help them to say what they need to say. Sometimes they can't say it. Sometimes we just need to be silent with them, but they really don't want to be alone. Even though they are alone and they're not talking, they don't want to be alone. So trying to help them to stay connected with the world at that time. So
that's helpful. And the church has a lot of resources to help people too, right?
Absolutely. We never know who is going to walk in our door and what situation they're in. And you may meet a depressed person and just shake their hand and say, hello, good morning, we're so glad you're here. The pastors are out there greeting people. You know, can I help you find something? Can I tell you about the church? And just that might be enough for them to say, there is somebody out there that cares. And moving on from that, we encourage people to get into small groups, because that's where you meet your community. That's where you find people that you can connect with, that want to listen to you, that will say, how's your week been? That will say, how can I pray for you? And many of our groups are very transparent, and you can share what's going on in your life and on your heart. And we also have affinity groups. Those are groups that have people that are in similar circumstances to you. Men's group, women's groups, military groups. Many women have deployed husbands, and they're experiencing the same kind of stress and struggles. Many military men have PTSD or other issues related to that whole cycle of the military life. We have the Laugh group, which is for our older people here and the youth. We have parenting, marriage groups. We have mothers of students, mothers of preschoolers, and it goes on and on, I'm sure.
It does. I counted 90, if I counted right, we have 96 groups starting this fall.
That's
so
excellent.
There's a group for you, or 7. We even have
Also-
6 online groups starting.
Sorry.
Yeah, go
Also,
ahead, sorry.
Mentors. This is a great thing to have a relationship one-on-one with someone else, or even two-on-one sometimes, where you're just seeking to grow in spiritual wisdom and in your faith. And that really helps a person if they're struggling, and it's not really about counseling, but it's about going to God. It's about going to the Word of God, and it's about having a relationship that can really build a person up. And we have our Healed Heart Encounter. That happens twice a year. It's for women who are struggling with hurts to heal their emotional and spiritual hurts, and it's an all-day experience. You have professional, trained people, leaders, and prayer partners, and it's a one-on-one experience for everybody that comes, all-day experience, and people just find great healing and hope and restoration in that. And if you're interested in that, there's a table outside in the lobby, and you can check out what's coming up in October and sign up if you're interested in participating in Healed Heart. And of course, counseling. All of our pastors are trained in counseling skills, and they would love to talk with you. If they can't connect at the right time with you, they will make sure that you get to someone. I'm here, and I would love to have one-on-one with you if you feel like you need to go to that next level. And then we also refer to Christian professional counseling outside of New Song, pre-screened Christian counselors.
And I found out today you're a box. I didn't know that before.
I'm a box?
You're a box on our card.
Oh, yes, there is a box on the welcome card for counseling that you can check if you are interested in connecting with me, and I will give you a